You remember this guy? Dan Schneider. You remember him? So he was on Nickelodeon. Obviously, he was a Nickelodeon producer. He created shows like iCarly, Victorious, Rick and Josh, and more. But what really happened behind the closed doors? Because as far as I know, obviously I watched Quiet on Set. So that's where I got my research from. Because as far as I know obviously he was a creep. But I need proof first before I just assume. So today we're going to investigate Dan Schneider and why he was a creep. We'll be right back on my Nickelodeon podcast. So, Dan Schneider was originally born like 1970 something, I think. And he was obviously not always on Nickelodeon. He didn't join for a while. In fact, he used to be on this one show. He played this guy's brother before he was a creep. Hold on, let me give you a picture of that. So this is him in that show I was talking about. Before all that stuff. This is him. So you can't recognize him, but you can tell because of his hair, smile, and double chin. So he was on that show. I think he was a teacher, I'm not sure. But he was on that show, right? Well, just stick around because after this it's going to get messy and disgusting. So this is all that. This is what I was talking about. Obviously you can't see him, but yes, he did create that show. Technically. See, that's him in the back. You can see him. He created the show in 1994 for Nickelodeon. Right? And the Teen Nick block later in like 2007. But still, take a look at him in the back. Why is he holding that kid? And why is that kid... it looks like he's choking him. Can you see that? And that kid looks like he's smiling fakely. Look at that. This looks like they're forced to smile. You guys see that? Well, maybe except these people. But it meant this guy. That kid looks like he's forced to smile. Like he doesn't want to smile. You can tell. Look at his eyes. And tell me what you see. You don't see it? You can see the forced smile in his eyes. So right now we're going to watch on Quiet on Set. And tell me what you think. And see what actually happened.
So many things they had to leave out for a variety of reasons. The producers of the documentary had to rely on people who were willing to go on the record, and a ton of people who could speak out were legitimately scared for their careers. And that's where we come in. Because since we aren't airing on national television, I can get into all sorts of things that Quiet on Set couldn't even touch. While yes, some of these revelations are based in speculation or rumors, some of them have been corroborated and openly discussed by people who were there. And most of this stuff is way more outrageous than what was covered in the documentary. So let's get into the full story of what really happened to these victims of Dan Schneider and Nickelodeon. Dan Schneider produced and wrote some of the most impactful kids shows of the last 3 decades, like iCarly, Victorious, The Amanda Show, all that, Drake and Josh, and more.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I also forgot. He also did the Amanda Show. I forgot about that. Just to put it out there.
But by pretending to be this faux father figure to the vulnerable child stars on his sets, he's molded his protégés' brains to make them susceptible to not only his fantasies, but the sexual fantasies of his creepy friends and even...
I told you something was wrong with him. What did I say? Something is wrong with him.
Colleagues on set, and his reach even spread beyond the child actors. He was fulfilling his fantasies through the kids at home who watched the shows. That sounds wild and dark, I know, but the evidence...
So, she's correct. He was creepy. So, I watched this. I already told you this. Anyway, let me put on a video and you'll see what I mean.
To all the revelations from the industry-shattering documentary series Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. These videos are from our sister...
Sorry, this is the wrong one. Sorry.
Today. Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today, we're looking at the biggest bombshells from Investigation Discovery's 4-part expose about Nickelodeon.
Oh, by the way, Nickelodeon's not a bad channel. So that's already one red flag. If it's just Dan Schneider. Anyway, though, on with the video.
Everyone knew it, from New York to California. So who would we go to?
Who could we possibly go to complain about this?
Amanda Bynes replaced Katrina Johnson.
I had less and less and less and then no time with Dan. So, the new favorite had arrived. I was out.
From 1994 to 1997, Katrina Johnson was the youngest cast member of Nickelodeon's hit sketch comedy series, All That. During her time on the show, she was one of Dan Schneider's favorite young actors, and as she recalled in the docuseries, he even considered giving Johnson her own show. But as she got older, her appearance became an issue for the producers, particularly her weight, which they called attention to.
I mean, that stuck with me. You can't be the fat one. Like, I still hear those words in my head to this day.
With the addition of rising star Amanda Bynes in 1996, Johnson felt she was progressively sidelined by her former mentor, and she left the show a year later. Schneider would go on to be a significant figure in shaping Bynes' successful career, which some people, including her parents, saw as concerning.
Maybe at the time, people viewed it as comedy, but I think now some people are very uncomfortable with the implication.
Gender discrimination and a toxic...
Okay, so that's all I'm gonna play right now. Because before I actually get in depth, let's just say this. Huge shout out to Miss Mojo and Quiet on Set and HBO Max, because that's exactly where I watched it. So shout out to all of these people. Shout out to all of these figures who let me watch the show. Shout out to them, especially Miss Mojo. Shout out to her. But Dan Schneider was a creep. Hold on. He was a creep. So as I was saying, Dan Schneider, for some reason, he loved younger girls. I don't know why. Maybe 13 to 17. For some reason, he was obsessed with them. He wouldn't stop touching them. And as we saw in Quiet on Set, they were in. He was in a what do you call those things? A bathtub. Not a bathtub. It's like a jacuzzi. Yeah, there you go. He was in a jacuzzi with Amanda Bynes. Obviously, she was on the Amanda show. So, why? Obviously, as kids, we probably said, "Oh, that's totally funny." But now that I think about it, that was not funny to me anymore. Now that I think about it, it's not funny at all. I'm 13, obviously, so I was alive when all of that happened. But my sister, who was 19 and born 2000, my other sister, who is 25 right now, 2026, who was born 1990, 2000 on the dot, she saw a glimpse of it when she was maybe 3, 4. She used to watch iCarly, Drake and Josh, and later Victorious and Henry Danger. She didn't know that he was a creep. She didn't know. I think she was actually on one of his shows. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. I think she was on the Amanda show. I'm not sure. JK. But I'm serious though. So when Nickelodeon fired him, I didn't know what to do, because from 2021, I already knew something was wrong with him. Did he create Danger Force? Technically, yes. But the main creator was Omar Camacho and Dana Oslin. But he was for some reason part of that gang, even though he was literally fired in 2018 and the show was produced in 2020. So, yeah. Janet Schneider was a creep, and to all those victims out there Elizabeth Gillies, Victoria Justice, Queen from Zoe 101, Britney Spears, you know what I mean. Who else was a victim? Miranda Cosgrove, Jeanette McCurdy. She actually did an interview in 2015. Ariana Grande, who actually got forced to dye her hair red. I am so sorry. Respect to all these victims of genocide because they were mistreated, and he was obsessed with them. So I'm so sorry. Respect to all of them, and yeah, I'm so sorry. Respect to all of them, and I hope their lives get better. I hope they can finally speak up after almost, how many years is this? After almost 15 to 16 years of being quiet on set. Obviously, why do you think it's called quiet on set? Obviously, they were quiet for almost 16 years, and finally, they're speaking up and quiet on set, interviews and more. Jeanette McCurdy, I think she actually recently did an interview in 2024. She was talking somebody. She was saying yeah, Dan Schneider was a creep and everything. It was weird. So respect to all those victims. We're so sorry, and yeah. So look out for the next Nickelodeon podcast about Hard Rock. Why was it canceled? No. Sorry. Yeah, Hard Rock. Why was it canceled? That's gonna be my next podcast. So look out for it.